So again, this is Lindsay with Find Fearless Coaching. This is episode 3 of A Fearless Life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited to have you here. So the purpose of these interview series is to really just bring on inspirational entrepreneurs, thought leaders, creatives, spiritual leaders, just people who are making fearless choices in their life to really live their dreams, to live their soul's purpose. And so that brings me to today's guest, Kristen Michelle Becker. So I want to first start out with, she's my bestie, my best friend. I love this woman dearly, and she is one of the most wise and inspirational and thoughtful, genuine, beautiful people I have ever met and known. And I feel so grateful to have her and her presence in my life. Also, just to give you a little bit of background about her, she's an international traveler, lived and experienced cultures all over the world. She's a creative, an entrepreneur. She's also the creator of Sacred Soul Ascension, which we'll dig into that a little bit later and ask her about that. She's a spiritual mentor, a spiritual guide, and she also has this incredible background of so many different healing and spiritual modalities. From massage to yoga therapy, or excuse me, yoga instructor, meditation instructor, astronumerology. She reads tarot. She teaches classes on the chakra system and so much more. So I'm going to hand it over to her. Welcome, Kristen. It is so fabulous to have you here.
Lindsay, love, thank you so much for inviting me to be on this magnificent and growing platform that's already having high impact in people's lives. Thank you.
Girl, love you. Okay, so great to have you here. All right, so let's just kick off with learning a little bit more about you, just as far as your history, what really inspired you to travel the world, and also to really dig into the creative arts overall.
Mm. Well, the story goes so far back and there's so many details, but randomly what's popping into my mind right now is this first bumper sticker that I got when I was like in 7th grade. And in multicolored letters, it said world peace with like the earth in the middle.
I remember that bumper
Do
sticker.
you remember that? I
Yes,
had that
I
on my
absolutely do.
Jeep, I think. My first car, but I had that like from 7th grade, way before I got my license. I think it was the first bumper sticker. Yeah, I put on my car, but yeah, world peace. And it just felt like, oh, that really spoke to my mission. And I remember I also found at that same head shop, David's Gallery down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, this pendant that had the earth and a peace sign on top of the earth. It was like a little pendant for a chain. And on the back, it had KB, which were my initials. And I felt like it was this like token from God, from the universe, that yes, that is your mission, like world peace and being in service to life on earth. And that was really my consciousness is really opening then. And I was exploring new music and all sorts of different things. Yoga came into my life, and went to college and studied religious studies and deep ecology. And I was really exploring this magnificent, direct connection with life through nature. Like, oh, trees are living, breathing beings that our existence relies on, and the water and the fire, like all these, like we're all so interconnected, this web of life. And I became very fascinated with Hinduism in my religious studies teachings, and also the exploration of eco-village living. And so I went to India for 6 months on a program as a final project for my major. And I lived in an eco-village and explored temple life, and fasted in a cave for 3 days. And there was some
That's a
real
story.
yoga. Oh, it was amazing opportunity. It's very rare in this Western world that you're given an opportunity like that. But in the East, this is a part of the practice of temple life, and going through, water fasts for sacred parts of the year. And yeah, so it was so amazing to do that kind of inversion, like a societal inversion, when I was 22. I think I turned 22 there in India. And yeah, it was this phenomenal experience, exploring meditation every day, yoga every day, working with the village women with, harvesting the local herbs and medicinal leaves from the trees, and processing, medicines basically for the community. So many wonderful experiences there. And one of the most profound experiences was actually receiving a massage on my 22nd birthday, a massage where I felt that I fully incarnated into my body for the first time in my life, where all of a sudden all these disparate parts of my experiences and aspects of my consciousness all came together
Wow.
in this massage experience. And I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to create this kind of sacred space for people to feel at home inside of their bodies on this planet, that their life is vastly okay, and needed and wanted, and a cause for celebration, just the miracle of the existence itself and the awareness of the existence. So much just clicked in right there. So then
Wow.
the path just journeyed on and on and on but that was in 2005, just after they got hit with a tsunami. So the land was in recovery. The people were also in recovery. But there was this really, yeah, it was a beautiful moment for me to really feel like my soul dropped in, and that I was safe and I was okay, and that I was on path, even if that path, looks very different on the outside from the way, society is influencing and pushing a woman to be, or a man to be, pushing us to be. It's like, oh no, I am a spirit in this form, or a form inside of spirit. This is a spiritual life. This is a spiritual path. And it's going to look very particular to the way that I'm going to design it. And yeah, that just really landed in that moment.
Okay,
So,
so I love this, and I have a couple of questions on things that you said. So, first of all, is this idea about being in service, and I want to elaborate. I would love for you to elaborate on that. And the second point, I just want to say it out loud before I forget, is how I design it, like how I design my life. So, I want to dig into that a little bit further, but first, can you just elaborate and explain what you mean by this verbiage of being in service?
mm, yes, well, it's a part of that interconnectivity in the web of life, that we are an aspect in this vast ecosystem, this vast network of planetary consciousness. And what I do unto another, I do unto myself. These are principles that I was raised with in the Christian, faith and the tradition. And there is that like law of karma too, right, where the cause and effect, the boomerang of the universe. But it's more moving from like karma into that dharma, where we're really here, like your success in your finding fearless coaching is my success. Like that we're as one up level, so too does the whole consciousness up level. So we to really be here for each other, and to be wanting the highest, um, and that's service to me, wanting the highest for the moment of the interaction, whether it's a person I meet on a walk, or it's the seed that I'm planting in the garden, or the weed I'm pulling in the garden, whatever it is, the quality of the walk with my dog, or it's service, it's wanting the best for life.
Mm.
And that for me is a very trustworthy quality that I really try to bring into every venue, every modality that I use with clients, is that I'm 100% there for you. I'm in service of you and your consciousness and your light. And I know that by effect, when you succeed, so too do I. We're so interconnected. We're on a team. We're on the same team. And for me, I guess in this moment, that's why I would describe service.
That's really powerfully said. And knowing you at the depth of the level that I know you since, a young age, you absolutely are everything. You're in integrity of everything that you just said. And I see you in service every single day and every moment of every day. And I just want to call that out because it's incredibly inspiring. So you truly are leading by example. And that is a powerful thing in the world. Leadership is so incredibly important, especially now. So thank you for that. Thank you for your service to this world. All right. So you also mentioned this idea of kind of life not look like designing your own life, like designing your own path. And with that, I really take away, and this was unsaid, but for me, it's like this idea of following your soul's purpose, no matter if it fits the societal norm of what life should look like at every stage or not. And so, can you elaborate on that? And also, this idea of just designing your life the way you would like it to look.
Yes, well, that process is a very intuitive process. So there's this process of a lot of self trust again, right? And really trusting that what you feel, what I feel inside of me is the truest thing. When I compare it to the outside world where I start comparing myself to the way it looks or sounds or appears on the outside, then I start to compare my path to what's already been done or being done and
Mhm.
processed by another. So I look outside of me for inspiration, but truly inside of me to my intuition for how to authentically, step by step, design it, architect it um, uh, through the movements of my vibrational match game, because what may be looking like success to another person outside of me might lower my energy if I try to do it that way. So staying authentic to my vibrational, what increases my frequency, is what I just continually move toward. And it's a path of accepting change as a process, but also being patient with that process of change, and just trusting that, like, where I am exactly in the moment is where I need to be, even if it um, in a moment feels like I'm behind the game, or or if I'm, tripping on my ego, like, oh, I'm ahead of the game now. It's like, oh yeah, until the next day, and then you feel behind again. It's just the presence in the moment and really resourcing that intuitive voice to direct um, fluidly. It's a pretty fluid pathway. Did I answer that okay? Or is
Well, yeah,
there?
you did, but I want to dig in a little bit further. So, this idea of success for you, or let's call it a well designed life, or a fearless life, or, trying to achieve fearless, what does that look like? What does success look like for you? What does a well designed life look like? Because as you said, it's not going to be the same idea of success that others may hold for themselves. So that's individual, or it's unique to the individual. So what does a well-designed, successful life look like for you?
Well, it's a it's a very holistic concept for me. Like success is very much, I'll put my health and vitality at the top of that picture of success. The quality of my life force energy and a successful life to me is that even though as I get older, and upon my deathbed, my body will be in decay, my consciousness is going to be higher and lighter and better than even now. So for me, this path of success is truly like the elimination of fear, the
Mhm.
total embodiment of love, and to just meditate out onto the next phase of the journey. To me that's the success. And there is a sense of like this inner contentment that's a part of that success. It's a sense of balance, um, that inner sense of well-being, that I'm not needing to chase something or acquire or consume something outside of myself to pacify an empty space or a hole within me. Success is really just a sensation and an inner experience, a blossoming of truly the love of source from within me into my outer space. And as that continues to grow, success to me would be the fulfillment of my larger visions, having a community, having a sacred healing space where people can come and be at peace with nature, with themselves, with their inner nature, with the outer nature. I will feel that I'm really breathing into a deeper space of love and service, when that is my reflection. And I'm really looking forward to that phase. And it's a process, right? Maybe that happens when I'm in my 60s. I don't know when. 50s. Maybe it happens next decade. I don't know. But it's a process of preparation for the next like phase of the architecting, the next phase of the what did we call it, the design, because the design has multiple layers to it. And it's truly just building a process of contentment, inner peace and balance every step of the way, so that like the process feels good. The process of life truly feels like I'm at home inside of my being. And every step of the way, even if it ended tomorrow, I'll feel like it was a full life, because I was had that sensation of fullness. um, so that's success, I guess, to me. But like friends and family and community and the cornucopia, the food, the flowers, the Garden of Eden, I want that. I want the garden.
Yeah. Yes, the Garden of Eden. Well said. Well, okay, so I heard this idea of balance a couple of times, and I'm just curious, can you share with us the ways that are the balanced life that you live, the tools that you have to create balance in your life, and what an idea of a balanced day would look like for you, or a balanced week, or a balanced life?
Hmm. These are big questions,
I'm
Lindsay.
sorry.
Sorry.
I'm just like,
Wow.
"Ooh," but you're answering them so beautifully, so they keep coming.
Wow. Okay, wait, what was the question again?
So,
Um,
I mean, just tools for achieving balance or how you achieve balance, because that's something that always inspires me about you is I feel you live this incredibly balanced life. And so do you have recommendations on tools that keep you balanced, or really bring balance into your life?
right. So, I mean, it's pretty like simple, basic things. I really enjoy a good night's sleep. You
Mhm.
know that. Staying plenty hydrated is essential. with purified water. When I can get to clear spring water, my body performs even better. That, just getting purified water is so important. And my daily meditation practice that involves pranayama, where I'm accessing consciously the circulation of life force energy within my system and creating certain yogic bandhas, we call it, or bindings of the spinal column to send the cerebral spinal fluid up to accentuate the feel good chemicals in the brain. This is all sacred science, yogic sciences that, are part of my teachings. My daily walk with my dearest sweet cutie pie Sedona. And having she's the sweetest. She saved my heart, in a very critical time of my life. And yeah, my sharing my love with my dog is a huge part of my balance, and our daily walks. And a lot of times my walks involve singing and mantras or positive affirmations, or just silence, but dreaming, daydreaming, my architecture, and a healthy, clean diet, just buying organic foods, local foods, and just whole foods, not the brand, but just the vegetables and and just putting delicious food together, and that kind of nourishment. It involves, tuning out frequencies on music, and like my YouTube, things just continually up level. What served me a year ago to 5, 10, 20 years ago, those frequencies don't necessarily serve me now. And so as I continue to, like we call it, accrete more life, but bring in more light into my system, my sensitivity, so I can, my favorite thing to listen to are whale sounds, like, or mantras, but like being in vibratory fields that really allow me to keep my frequency and the vibration, and that's affecting my whole body and system, um, in a place that feels in coherence, keeping my heart in coherence with my environment, so that when I'm not in my environment and I'm not in that field of coherence, it's so anchored in that I can move into other spaces and not vibratorily match that, but that I hold the frequency, and then it vibratorily matches that that matches, the field that I'm holding. So it's, that's kind of the, advanced, yogic kind of practice, right? It's off the mat and into the world. Sean Korn, another wonderful philanthropist doing global work, that's her whole slogan, off the mat into the world. But it really is that. It's like accreting that vibration, that light in your system, so that not only it's self-serving on your mat, because it feels so good to be in that zone, but then, you take it out and you're in service on a walk, on, service doesn't have to look like,
Yeah.
The ways that we think of serving, it's by showing up and being, truly that's the soul essence resonance, being that light that you're born to be. We're all that. It takes cultivations, these daily practices, to really anchor that, and yeah, to be just in that pace, and that kind of flow. So I think, yeah, those are maybe the main things, and keeping the momentum. For me, travel's been a big part of feeling that the expansion, that I'm able to connect with these aspects of myself that I've been seeking, and of course we don't even have to leave our backyard to discover those aspects. And I've utilized the tool, though, of the freedom to travel and connect with people from all different cultures, all walks of life, who have given me a sense of like reflection through conversation and just through the experience of eating their food, or just sharing space with them and their culture. And even within the culture of the US, I mean, just being in different landscapes, the different biologies of places, within the continental US, um, and all over the planet. It's just incredible to be in this process of like communion with life and to learn from life and all these diverse palettes. So that kind of momentum has been a part of my practice as well.
Beautiful. And I
Mm.
just want to reiterate this idea of practice, because I think that is such a huge takeaway from what you were just saying of it is a practice. It's not, oh, every day I wake up like this and it requires focus and practice and energy. And so I think that that's a powerful takeaway of life is a practice, and the meditation is a practice, and eating good food is a practice, and all of these things are a practice. It's just you get up every day and you practice it, and sometimes one day doesn't look, or sometimes you might fall off the train or forget to practice or not practice that day, but you just pick back up on it and you just keep practicing and keep practicing and practicing. So um, all right. So I want to talk about sacred soul ascension and really, what exactly is involved with those teachings and what it is. And can you please tell us all about that?
Sure. Well, the word sacred, I just love because it's this kind of thing that we've got right here. And anytime you and I are in conversation, we just like, boom, we create that sacred space. And I love creating space sacred, even if it's just with myself, lighting a candle, just burning the Palo Santo or putting an incense stick outside and cleaning the energy. I love creating sacred space. So just that word sacred to me is like an invitation into the heart and into just home, the home base. And the soul is, well, I mean, we're just such all unique, intelligent, beautiful souls in this very shared, interconnected Earth project, Project Planet Earth. And so, the soul, the light essence of your soul is really what I'm interested in communicating with. And to really shine the light of my soul into your soul, it's really that namaste, that like the light in me bows to the light in you.
Yeah.
It's that reflection of light, right?
Yeah.
And so the sacred soul is the space that we are creating in this container of our work together, one on one, one to group. And the ascension is the journey of the soul or the form in the soul in the form back up to. So when we come into incarnation, the soul descends into the form. Okay, so there's like this whole incarnation process and this landing journey. So in the sacred soul ascension, we first incarnate, we first land, we first receive and connect with Mother Gaia, with Mother Earth, this bountiful, life giving rock in the middle of space. I mean, we're on a garden planet. We're on a water planet. Like the gift, the embrace of even just the five sensory experience. But we have nine senses, and this is a part of my teachings too. But to to land itself, that's sacred. And then the ascension part is to really align, the umbilical cord of your energetic being. You have an umbilical cord. That's how you're given life in utero. And then you birth through the canal. that blood, pumps through the umbilical cord. And when it's time, that umbilical cord is cut. And then, phew, okay, separation, you're on your own. I mean, of course, we rely on our parents to take care of us those first years. The ascension piece is uniting the umbilical cord back into source, back into that which we've come from. And that's the ascension journey. So when you really start to connect in with your return path home, that's the purpose of all my work. It's the incarnation. So it's descension, to land, to feel safe, to feel at home. You're here. And to take all of you, that inner child, all parts of you back home. And yeah, so that's the process of the sacred soul ascension. And that's through the massage work, through the card readings, through the Temple of Light courses, the meditation courses, on and on. That's the framework. Like that's like the womb space that it's all being held in.
Can you explain more what you mean by take back home? Like what is home?
Well, your North Star, right? So we each have this celestial point, that we're returning to our point of creation. So, I call my YouTube channel K-Star Healings. It's like, oh, it's my K-Star, my K-Star connects up and up and up. But really it's this combination of really merging with, here I'm going into like my teachings, but really uniting with your higher selves. And we have 144, times 12, actually, higher selves, higher aspects, higher vibrations of our higher mind to really ascend into or lift our vibration up into, and also assimilate into this form. It's ascending and descending cycles always. These are the principles of the chakra system, right? These are the two currents of like the earth energies and the cosmic energies spiraling like the double helix in our body, creating this spinning energy to produce our magnetic field or electromagnetic field or auric field. So our return path home is basically a game of light. It's a process of speeding up our electrons. It's a biological journey. It's a journey that is the ascension journey. Our return path home is to vibrate quicker and quicker, higher and higher with the light. I mean, the spectrum of light, what we see in this realm is like a very small percentage of what's actually going on, right? And as we quicken our being through the practices that you teach, or practices that many teach, we are increasing our electron spin. We're increasing our frequency, our vibratory pattern. And yeah, that's part of the process of connecting to these like higher dimensional planes. And that is a part of our return path home. So I could go, I don't want to go like too like deep and out there, but it's an alignment with God, it's an alignment direct to God's source of creation, like in that neutral zone, Mother, Father, God, the union of all life in that perfect 0 point. It's a 0 point energy. And all these practices align that 0 point of your completely balanced brain and your fully opened and awakened heart into that God consciousness. And you're already home. It's nothing that you move, and you don't have to like die to do it. You don't have to die to reunite with God. It's that primordial origin sources within the very atomic structure of our cells. And so it happens spontaneously through the acceleration of consciousness. And yeah, maybe getting, way out there and way deep, but that's
Well, that's the
Sorry.
beauty of it. And I want, well, it's my intention to kind of keep the interview to around a half an hour. So I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you one final question and wrap up, but maybe we can jump back on again sometime and like dig even further and deeper into it, because there's so many questions. And I just really, love this conversation, digging into the depths and the deep depths of consciousness and spirituality and what that looks like and what that truly means. So thank you for elaborating on all of those things. So beautifully said. The last and final question I want to ask you is, what does living a fearless life look like for you? I don't know if we ever achieve a fully fearless life, but what does it look like to make courageous choices, to make fearless choices, to step towards your fear and really go after your dreams and design your life the way that you truly want to live it?
Mm. This feels like freedom. I feel like I have wings to like just live the creative spirit of life that I'm designed to live, that you're designed to live. It feels just like I can breathe. There's no that life is so full of love that fear doesn't even exist, or when it like comes in, it's like a mosquito, that you're just kind of that you don't even need to kill anymore. You're just kind of like go,
I cannot help it. Like, there you go, buddy.
Buddy. Yeah, I'm not even worried about you sucking my blood anymore. I'm just, it's a life full of love, and that just like the cup runneth over, floweth over, and that there's no constrictions of time and money and all the shackles and all the things that even saying those words you could feel the like that it's just like, oh, but love, the freedom to love and to breathe and to be like a healthy, vital, human, no matter what your condition is. I mean, you you can be in a very severe state and have that sense of inner vitality and spirit and wakefulness that where love knows no bounds, and that to me just feels, yeah, where there's just this giving and receiving, this flow of just generosity and joy and love, like we're children of the earth, children of God playing on the garden planet earth, really in just such mutual love and respect for one another. That feels like fearless, freedom. Yeah.
Freedom. Girl,
I
thank
love
you
that.
so much. I have enjoyed and loved this conversation, and just so grateful to have you here. So thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on and being a guest.
I love you so much, Lindsay, and I'm so amazed by your daily commitment to this work and to the people that you work with. I hear just, how much passion you put in, and you're that way all day, every day too. I mean, of course, we have our better days, our high days, and lower days. Yeah. I mean, this reality isn't like what people see here too. Like we're kind of like at our best, we're having fun, and there's times where Lindsay's like, "How are you doing, Kristen?" I'm like, "I feel like I'm dying." I'm in another death cycle. So, it's not
Oh,
the
yeah,
way it
you
seems
too.
either. People watching this, it's like it's real life, and we're in the human experience. But just thank you so much for this platform and all the people you're bringing on. And I would love to continue the conversation with you. So thank
Yeah.
you for the
We're going
opportunity.
to most certainly set that up. So I'm excited for that in the future. And y'all, if you're interested in reaching out to Kristen and learning more about what she does, I don't know if I can put the links below the video because this is a live, but I'll drop them in the comments. So you can just click on the link, check out her YouTube video, check out her tarot readings, her Facebook post, and then also I'll put her email address too. So she does astronumerology readings, tarot readings, and then also teaches the sorry, I'm missing the name.
Temple of Light.
Temple of Light course. Sorry, I just had a blank. But yes, you can reach out to her to really learn all about what she has to offer, because there are so many modalities there. And she's an incredible spiritual mentor and spiritual guide as well. So she offers um, independent or individual sessions for those. So yeah, I'll drop that in the comments. And if you ever want to connect with me and reach out to me, the Facebook group is a great way to do it. And I'm working on a website, so I'll get that up eventually. But thank you for being here today. And thank you, Kristen. I so enjoyed this, and I can't wait for our future conversation. So much love to everyone.